Hello everyone, it's Jade from Booktuber. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a really rare evening to myself tonight, which kind of feels a bit lonely. Anthony's gone out to this wine tasting thing with his work, so I've got the house to myself and I decided why not do a video. So I've got a couple of books that I'm going to read the first chapter of. We've got It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, The Snow Child by Eowyn, Ivey. We've got The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell, and we've got Madame Barova by Ruth, Hogan. So we're going to read the first chapter and see which one I will use as my next read. I've just finished The Family Remains by Lisa Jill, which I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of problems with it. I'll leave it for my November wrap-up. The reason that I am doing a Try Chapter Tag now is because I need to choose a book to take with me to New York. That trip's coming up. It's right around the corner. Luckily I've got some pre-planned videos ahead, so you won't miss me during that time if you would miss me anyway. Blow my own trumpet. Right, so the book I'm going to start with is The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. This is about this woman called Tans, who is a wine-loving, straight-talking, once successful TV actress. She starts to work at this new age shop and she discovers that the voices she's hearing in her head are not just her imagination working overtime, but are in fact messages from beyond the grave, and she's going to start solving murders and crime with the help of these voices. I've been wanting to read this for ages, so I'm really excited to dive on in. So let's read the first chapter. Can I just say that this author sounds right up my street? It says, today Tracy lives in North London with her son, surrounded by a never-ending supply of Aperol spritz and a coven of friends as spooky as she is. Tracy is nothing like her lead character, Tans. And then in brackets it says, this is a lie. I just have a feeling this is going to be really funny. Okay, so this starts with a prologue and then it goes into the first chapter, which is just a couple of pages long. So we'll see what we think by the end of those pages. I'm loving how honest this book is. So she's like saying how she can't go back home where she's from because it would be like admitting defeat and having to see all her family every day and stuff, like would just be too much for her, and how she drinks too much wine, and how she's wandering about in leggings and a vest top, what passes for pajamas these days. It's just like, it's so relatable and funny and raw and real. I've just connected with it quite well already. It's even little things like, I just fancy some chips and wine, or as soon as it's not cold, I've got flip-flops welded to my feet. All these little things, you know, it just sounds like me, and I wish I had friends like this. They all just sound, you know, like wine-loving, boozy, fun, free-spirited people, and that's totally me. So at first, it opens up with her absolutely trolleyed on the phone to one of her friends, and she's denying being a witch, like she's in complete denial about it. And they're having this slurry conversation about how she needs to get a job because the job she had as an artist, or something that an audition she had didn't go through very well, so she needs to get a job in a shop. And her friend's like, oh no, you're an artist, like basically it's going to dull your passion and the things that you're good at. But she's like, well, you know what, I kind of have to. And then chapter 1 goes on to how she's having this dream about her friend that died in this car accident, and she's really sad about it, but she's like going to get up and go see another one of her friends and try and get on with the day and stuff. Mentions briefly how she had this ex that is now gone from her life, and he sounded like a toxic twat, so I'm glad he's gone. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. For, I mean, what, 8 pages? I think I'm already sold, but on to the next book. Next I'm going to try Madame Barova by Ruth Hogan, which says, promises must be kept and secrets revealed. Madame Barova, tarot reader, palmist and clairvoyant, is retiring. After 50 years of other people's secrets and lives, she's leaving her booth on the Brighton seafront, and I just got back from Brighton, which is why I was really drawn to this book. But before she does, she has to fulfill a promise she made a long time ago. In London, another woman is making a fresh start. Billy has lost her job, her marriage and her place in the world. Finding that place again will lead her to straight to Madame Barova's door to unlock events stretching back to the magical world of a 1970s holiday camp, seaside entertainers, eccentrics, heroes and villains, and a love story which will last through time. Let's get started. So the first page looks like that, which is really interesting. It's got a crystal ball and it says, "Never tell a secret, never tell a lie. If you break a promise, you will surely die. Say your prayers at bedtime, God forgive your sin. Then when you get to heaven, the angels let you in." Okay. So quite different to the other book. This one is about this palmist and clairvoyant on the Brighton seafront, who has just taken over from her mum, and it's her first day of the job. But it's also following another cast of characters. There's a young girl called Jeannie who is about to start her first day of her first job, and she's adamant of giving her father some rent money, so she seems quite like a lovely girl. And then there's also a little boy who is half white and half black, so there's a bit of this like racism theme in it, about how there used to be like these black signs in the windows of the flats and stuff, and he's a bit scared because he's about to start his first day at school. So a few characters to keep up with. So far, out of the two, I think I'm leaning more towards The Accidental Medium, just because I feel like this is going to be slightly more lighthearted. It's just easier reading. It's got more of a sense of humour to it than this one, which is a bit more like, the writing's very like detailed and intricate and a bit more dramatic, should I say. So far I think I'm leaning more towards this one, which just seems like the tarot version of Bridget Jones. Alright, It Starts With Us, one of my most anticipated books. Can't wait to see what happens here. So I'm just going to start by reading the Colleen Hoover bit at the front. It says, "Dear reader, this book is the sequel to It Ends With Us and begins right where the first book concluded. For the best reading experience, It Starts With Us should be read second in the 2-book series. And I read It Ends With Us a long time ago, but I remember loving it. After releasing It Ends With Us, I never imagined I would one day be writing a sequel. I also never imagined that the book would be received as it has been by so many. I'm so grateful to all of you who found Lily's story to be as empowering as I find my own mother's. After It Ends With Us gained momentum on TikTok, I was inundated with requests for more Lily and Atlas, and how could I possibly deny a community that has changed my life? This novel was written as a thank you for the tremendous support, and because of that, I wanted to deliver a much lighter experience. Lily and Atlas deserve it. I hope you enjoy their journey. All my love, Colleen Hoover." Okay, so it's not going to be quite as hard-hitting as It Ends With Us, I gather, but here we go. Alright, so I just finished the first chapter of It Starts With Us, and it opens on Atlas's chapter. So it seems like it's going to be a dual perspective book. And Atlas is opening up his restaurant for the day. He has had a break-in, and the word arsehole is graffitied onto the wall, but it's spelled incorrectly, so there's a bit of humour there already, like typical Colleen Hoover humour. And he's just bumped into Lily for the first time in about a year and a half. And he's discovered that she's now divorced from Ryle, and they've had their baby girl, but she's happy. And it seems like in this little 5-minute conversation that they had for the first time that they've seen each other in a year and a half, that she was kind of willing to give things a go between her and Atlas again. So he's now waiting for her to text, so when his phone buzzes with his text message, he gets all excited, but then he sees it's not her and he's a bit deflated. So that's all that's happened in the first chapter, but because I know these characters from the previous book, obviously I'm excited, but still, I think I'm favouring The Accidental Medium. I've got one more book left to read the first chapter of, but it's got a couple more pages than the others in it, and I need a wee, so I'm going to go and do that, and probably go to the shops and get some lunch too, so I'll read this a little bit later. But before I go, let me tell you what it's about. This is the Sunday Times bestseller, Alaska 1920s. Jack and Mabel have staked everything on a fresh start in a remote homestead, but the wilderness is a stark place, and Mabel is haunted by the baby she lost many years before. When a little girl appears mysteriously on their land, each is filled with wonder but also foreboding. Is she what she seems, and can they find room in their hearts for her? This is supposed to be my book club pick for January, so I want to get a head start of it because I am a slow physical reader. I normally read books via Audible, especially if it's something that I need to rush for a certain deadline. I don't often have time to just sit down and read a book, so I think I do need to get a good head start with this. But let's have a look. This is the first little bit here, so we can read that quickly. It says, Part 1. Wife, let us go into the yard behind and make a little snow girl, and perhaps she will come alive and be a little daughter to us. Husband, says the old woman, there's no knowing what may be. Let us go into the yard and make a little snow girl. And that is an excerpt from The Little Daughter of the Snow by Arthur Ransom. So that opens with chapter 1 in the Wolverine River, Alaska, 1920. It's a couple of pages, so I will read those a little bit later. The writing's obviously a lot smaller as well than some of the other books. It starts with us. That was very big writing. Look at the difference between that and that. But I will read this one before the end of the day and then make my decision, but I think I've already kind of guessed which one I'm going to be picking up first. See you later. Hello everyone, it's a couple of days later. I kind of just got sucked into a world where I was feeling a little bit ill. I still don't have my full voice back, but I didn't do much reading, so I'm about to crack on with the first chapter of The Snow Child and let you know what I think of that and then choose my next book. Well, that was a depressing first chapter. I mean, this woman, Mabel, it's clear that she's lost a baby. I think it was a stillborn, and she's now in Alaska in the wilderness with her husband, very secluded from the rest of the world. And he's gone out all day to work. She decides that she wants to kill herself, so she goes walking on the river, which is all iced over, and she wants to basically fall through the ice and drown. But she walks on the river and nothing cracks and she survives, so she goes back home and cooks dinner for her husband, and it's clear that they are not happy with each other at all. As depressing as it is, the first chapter, I did enjoy it. I was really drawn in, very beautifully written so far, very descriptive, really like set the tone for the book. But I just feel like I'm in the mood for something a bit more light-hearted, something fun, something to make me laugh and smile. So I don't think it's much of a surprise that I will be picking up The Accidental Medium by Tracy Whitwell. Let me know if I have enticed you to pick up any of these books anyway, and what you're currently reading. I will talk to you soon. Bye.